Hello everyone and welcome back to Regen Rovers. Today it is the 7th season review, and of course those of you that have watched the past season will have seen quite a magnificent season. Regen Rovers have been promoted to the Football League. We're going to be playing in League 2 next season after going up via the playoffs. We're a bit unlucky not to win the league, but I'm incredibly happy that we managed to achieve promotion. It has been an incredible story, an incredible journey so far, and I'm going to do a separate revelations video based on the story so far, the journey so far into the Football League, the first 7 seasons of the club. But today I'm going to focus on this season alone. As you can see, Billericay Town did go up as champions, with Darlington, Winchester, our rivals, Fylde and Harrogate getting relegated. 84 points, 24 wins, 12 draws, 10 defeats, 97 goals scored, which is the most in the league, 10 ahead of Billericay. Defensively, we weren't the best. As you can see here, we're actually in the bottom half in terms of our defence. But the fact of the matter is, we got promoted in second place via the playoffs. I'll just show you the playoff journey for those of you that haven't watched the last few episodes. So that was the first round. We automatically went into the semi-final, thrashed Regen Rovers. Now, the strange thing was that Regen Rovers put out a very weak team. They put out an under-23 team, and in the final, Hartlepool put out a weaker team as well. Half of the team was under-23 players. Really bizarre. I don't know why that happened. Let's just have a look at the 2 goals that sent us up to the Football League. The first goal was rather magnificent from Raphael Godwin. Hasn't scored many goals in the last couple of seasons, but this was beautiful. In front of a massive crowd at Wembley. Left-footed, boom! What a strike. And I think it's rather fitting that David Okora, our legendary goalkeeper, scored a penalty. The goal, it wasn't the goal that sent us up, it was the Godwin goal that sent us up really, but Okora made it comfortable for us. If we just have a look at the schedule, you'll see that 38,789 people turned up. The majority were Hartlepool fans. I mean, Hartlepool are a decent club, and to be able to attract 34,000 people from Hartlepool, that is impressive. But we still had over 4,000 people go up from Winchester, and considering the size of our club, that is good. It shows the progress we have made, and we have been getting bigger home attendances. I mean, the semi-final was our biggest competitive attendance at Plumbing Park ever. Now, interestingly, I've noticed, I have played a little bit further ahead actually. I've just opened an old save from a few days ago, but I've noticed that we're going to be playing at Eastleigh Stadium for the start of the season, because we are having to expand our stadium, understandably. So to comply with League 2 standards, we need to put some more seating. It's going to cost a lot of money, I'm afraid. But let's just have a quick look at all of the player awards and that sort of thing. I will continue a couple of days, but you'll notice that we have turned professional. I've already done this. That's the budgets that were set. But yeah, we're going to be a professional club. We have to be a professional club in League 2, I think. Here we go then. Player of the Season awards. This was the team of the season. Okora in goal. Hancock, Casey, Avison, Assini, Owusu, Perimoles, Godwin, Elliot Avison, Mark Cole and Agu. No surprises there, really, I would say. I'm slightly surprised that Assini picked up Player of the Season, although I'm not massively surprised, because the game is biased towards favoured personnel or icons at the club, and Samuel Assini is a favoured personnel. For me, Elliot Avison is my player of the season. Phenomenal season from him. There will be a poll on Twitter. If it's not been finished already, I'll stick it in. I'll stick the link in the description below, but you can find that on the Regen Rovers Twitter feed. Yeah, he had a good season, Samuel Assini. Very good average rating, 15 assists in all competitions, 3 goals, played a lot of games. He's a great player. He's been a great servant for the club the past 4 seasons. He's played the majority of games. Last season he dropped off a bit. He had quite a few injuries. His average rating wasn't quite so good. But this year, exceptional. Really exceptional stuff from Samuel Assini. So I'm surprised. I personally wouldn't have given him player of the season, but I'm not surprised the game has. Elliot Avison, what a season. 31 goals in all competitions, 13 assists. Impressive average rating for a striker. And his 2 seasons at the club have resulted in him being our all-time 6th top goal scorer with 49 goals. He's only 2 behind Sean Walker. In fact, I'll just show you the statistics as they are now. You can see here, Agu is our all-time top goal scorer with 112 goals in all competitions. We've then got Paul McCann and then Alec McCann. Then it's Fawkes, still at the club, of course. Sean Walker, Elliot Averson, Luke Mooney still on that list despite only ever playing one season for the club. David Okoro, our goalkeeper, is our 8th top goal scorer ever with Josh Mann on 20, who hasn't featured for a while. And then Raphael Godwin just one behind, our 10th all-time top goal scorer. Most appearances, I've updated this as well. So Okoro has moved to first place, with Agu moving up to second, ahead of Sean Walker, who was top going into this season. Paul McCann fourth, Perry Miles up there, Godwin, Matthew Averson, Samuel Orsini, our captain Marcus Higgins, and then Morgan Fawkes. Legends. We've got a few legends now, haven't we? And Gus Owusu, I must say, what a season from him. 3rd place in play of the season. He got a really good average rating from midfield. 7 goals, 4 assists. It's easily his best average rating yet in the 4 seasons he's spent at the club. Last season was alright. Prior season was probably the best season up until this point. But yeah, this has easily been his best season, and he keeps improving. He is our best midfielder on paper, along with Perry Miles. They've both moved ahead of Godwin. Elliot Averson, signing of the season. Young player of the season, Samuel Orsini, because he still falls into that category. We'll have a look at goal of the season in a second. Perry Miles scored a few bangers this year. So, all-time best 11. I'm just going to show you every single season up until this point. I'll just quickly skip through. You can see first couple of seasons we weren't playing the 4-3-3. Since season 3 onwards, 4-3-3 has been our preferred formation. But the all-time 11 is this. David Okoro, of course, in goal. Higgins, Matthew Averson, Max Keane and Samuel Orsini, the back 4. Owusu, Sean Walker and Godwin in the middle. And then up front, Alec McCann, Ogachukwu Agu and Paul McCann, our top 3 goal scorers ever. On the bench, we've got Aaron Trollope. I've shown these already, but Aaron Trollope has retired. Perry Miles, I think he was in the starting lineup last year, but he's dropped to the bench now. Perry Webb, who has moved to St Mirren, spent a couple seasons at the club. And then Elliot Averson has already got onto the bench after 2 very impressive seasons. Rob Halliday, one of our backup left backs. And of course, Morgan Fawkes, legend. Goal of the season then, from Perry Miles. He's scored a few bangers. Is this I think this is the best one. Look at that. That is a beautiful curling effort. I think he scored 2 of them. But yeah, he was really good for us this year. He started off strongly, then dipped a little bit, but he's ended up with a decent average rating. Not quite as good as Owusu. More goals though, 9 goals. Really good end to the season. Good start, good end to the season. Middle was a little bit average from him. 4 assists. Our midfielders don't get many assists. It's more about the fullbacks banging them over the top for our strikers. Strikers, of course, set each other up as well, playing 3 up front. But he's been a fantastic servant since that first youth intake. I mean, he's featured in the first ever season. At the end of that season, got sent off, remember. But since then, he's come on leaps and bounds. I mean, his average ratings were always very average, but it's mainly because he came off the bench so much, I think. But this is the season that he's really pushed on and cemented his midfield position. And he's got to the age of 21. He's going to be 22 in the summer, so that he needs to make it his own. And I think he'll be an important player for us in League 2 and trying to keep us up. It's going to be tough to stay up. Let me know what you think next season. I reckon we'll stay up just because we've just done so well, haven't we, over the years? And by the way, Elliot Averson, top goal scorer in the league, head of Scott Burton of Billericay in the end, just 1 goal ahead. Helped that we played in the playoffs. Let's have a look then at the squad statistics. So the most appearances, the most starts was actually David Okoro, but the most appearances was in fact Raphael Godwin. 39 appearances, 35 starts, 14 games off the bench. Goals wise, Elliot Averson of course top. Mark Hole next with 16. Quite a big jump down there. I think we need to try and find a quality striker. I like these guys, but I see sort of Paul McCann, Agu as backups. They're playing the cup games. Sean Leach, going to let him go. He's just not been good enough on loan this season. Mark Hole's good. I feel like he's more of a backup, and I don't think he'll be a first choice player in League 2. Technically, according to my assistant, he is better than Elliot Averson, but Elliot Averson is the one that has scored the goals. on paper, he's not the best. I think it's his pace that helps him. Of course, he did score quite a few free kicks at the start of the season, but his all-round ability is decent because he's got 10 dribbling, 10 finishing, 10 first touch. They're all quite average, but combined, he's been very effective at this level. And to be top goal scorer in the National League, that's impressive, I think. And technique's good for striker. Finishing technique, decent combination. Composure and off the ball aren't the best, but his physicals are pretty decent. Assist-wise, Samuel Orsini top with 15, then Elliot Everson with 13, and Gareth Hancock. Good performance from the 20-year-old right back this season. He played well, he did, but Higgins actually played really well as well in the games he featured in. But to be fair, on the league, not the greatest average rating. His average rating was vastly boosted by cup games. Very good in the FA Cup and the Hampshire Senior Cup. 3 assists in 5 games in the Hampshire Senior Cup, but it was against weaker opposition on the whole. So we can't really take into account his boosted average rating too much because of that. Man of the match wise, Elliot Everson, Gus Owusu with 6 each. Average rating, Corey Hines only played 4 games, so we'll ignore that. Max Keane has actually got the highest average rating from my rule that a player has to play at least 10 games to feature. But once again, we have to consider that the Hampshire Senior Cup, 4 games, but exceptional in the 8 league games he played, and of course he played in the playoffs and was really good. So maybe he's going to be, if we can't find a better centre back, he might be our main centre back alongside Kevin Casey next season. Of course, I am going to try and attempt to sign players that will improve the team, but I think we've got to trust the main core of this squad because a lot of them are Regen Rovers legends, Regen Rovers icons. In fact, if I just take a look at the legends screen, so no one has managed to move up into the actual legends thus far. But I'm an icon. Marcus Higgins, our captain, is an icon. And Samuel Orsini, who of course won Player of the Season this year, is an icon too. Favoured personnel being Agu, Alec McCann and Morgan Fawkes. It's annoying how players only seem to get onto this list if they get a really good average rating or win Player of the Season, because David Okora should be on there. He's made the most appearances, and of course he's the most legendary character in the series so far, I would say. Sean Walker should be on there because he's been at the club since the start and played loads and loads of games. Agu should be an icon, possibly even a legend, I don't know. I will be ruthless in the summer, properly ruthless. I know I've said it previously, but I will be releasing quite a lot of players. The likes of Morgan Fawkes and Ray Rigg, I'm going to keep though. I can't bring it upon myself to release them. It's just, I just can't do it. Let's just have a look at both squads because there's a huge number of players, some of which are just, there's no chance of them ever doing anything. So I just have to let these players go. Now I have signed a few players from the youth intake, but previous seasons I was signing everyone. But I need to use the youth system better. I need to make sure these players that I do sign are in a smaller squad and they can be focused on more by the coaches. So I'm not doing a revelations video where I'm showing the new youth intake. I'm just going to show them to you now quickly. So the first one, Mosh Jan, who is a right back. He's got a fair bit of potential. He's also got current ability. Levi Avesi, a striker. Cole Cooper-Bick, a striker as well. We've got Scott Detmar, who is a left back. We've got Gregory Ford, who's a Jamaican goalkeeper. We've got Jack Dillon, centre back. Fernandez Pontes, who's a left back. And lastly, Albie Sims, who's a playmaker. We're trying to turn him into a central midfielder to fit our system, I suppose. But looking at the squad as a whole in the past season, of course, I have arranged the friendlies myself, so we do play a lot of games. I'd like to say Corey Hines has appeared in 63 games this season, scoring 25 goals and 25 assists. Top goal scorer though was actually Deli Obi. Now remember, this is a mixture between under 23 and under 18 football, but Deli Obi, 55 goals, but I'm likely to release him just because at this level, I mean that is very impressive. I've got to give them credit. That is very impressive, but looking at the under 18s and under 23 fixtures, most of the games that I arrange are against pretty weak opposition. Both cases, under 18s and under 23s. So, yeah, we're going to score goals. And of course, my philosophy is very attacking. They play the tactic that I play. So it does allow the strikers to score loads of goals. We've seen it over the years, and we've seen lots of players. I mean, Josh Mann has managed to get up into the first team, but hasn't played for a while. And he did okay, but he's probably the best example of a player coming through the youth system and working temporarily and then just sort of dropping off a bit. Same with Jason Glenn. Of course, Perry Miles is one player that has actually got into the first team and sustained himself. But the likes of Josh Mann and Jason Glenn played in the first team, dropped off a bit. Corey Hines comes and goes. I think Corey Hines is okay. I'll probably keep him. He's not a bad player. Finishing 13, first touch, bravery, not necessarily important. But yeah, he scores the odd goal here and there in the cup competitions, doesn't he? Average rating wise, Rob Halliday, very good. He's a good left back, is old Rob Halliday. I like the look of Charlie Farrer. He's someone that could turn into a first team player. He's already 1.5-star current ability at the age of 17. We might see him feature in the Hampshire Senior Cup next season. I'm likely to play just under 23 players or reserve players in the Hampshire Senior Cup going forwards. It will still officially be a first team competition. I can't change that, but I will probably just play the under 23s in that competition in the future. Now we're up into the Football League. Let's have a quick look at the records then. So Agu is our all-time top goal scorer in the league, and of course in all competitions. He's got 112 goals, 98 league goals, closing in. He'll get to 100 next season, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll score a couple goals in the league, in League 2. Most league appearances, David Okoro on there. Still the highest transfer fee paid is Sean Walker in that first season. Let's look at the attendances. The attendance record was smashed this season in the National League playoff semi-finals against Regen Rovers. Gate receipts as well, smashed. Average attendance has increased as well, 848, and that should continue to go up in League 2. It better go up. We need more people turning up to actually make a profit. In fact, I'll just quickly look at the finances because it's better than it was. We have had a couple cash injections from the board, where you'll see here sort of boosted a little bit. But next season, TV money will be much more than the National League. I think the National League was like, $5,000. So it was ridiculously low. Next season, it would be a lot more. Not huge amounts, of course, compared to the Premier League, but it will have a significant boost to our finances, that's for sure. We forgot to look at the statistics from the league, didn't we? I've already said that Elliot Everson was top goal scorer, but Assini, third highest average rating, joint most assists in the league. Ken Norman, joint most yellow cards. I do like having a look at these because there's some really random stuff. I mean, distance covered, Gareth Hancock covered the most distance in the league this season, and then it was Perry Miles. Distance covered per 90 minutes, they're not at the top, but Perry Miles is up there, 12.58 kilometres on average a game. He ran so much this year. Good old Perry Miles. Average rating, Assini, Everson, Owusu, Hancock, Perry Miles on there. Goals wise, of course, Elliot Everson, Mark Hole, joint 11th top goal scorer. Average minutes per goal, Elliot Everson up there. Agu on the list. Number of shots on target, Elliot Everson, joint second highest. As a percentage, he's not in anywhere there. That Mark Hole is on there. Conversion rate, he could improve his conversion rate, couldn't he? I suppose he does only have 10 on finishing, so it's not a massive surprise. Good old Okoro. He did miss a couple penalties this season, but he did score the most penalties in the league this year. There's the assist. Samuel Assini, Elliot Everson, Hancock all on there. Let's have a quick look at defending. Any of our players? Ken Norman. Surprise. See, this is the thing. It often is the case that the ball-winning midfielder does his job. He wins. He's obviously doing that. He's winning the tackles. That is what he is meant to do. Did make one mistake that led to a goal, and 51 mistakes in total, which is fairly high. But 5.41 tackles per game is easily the best in the league. We've also got Perry Miles on there, Godwin, who featured in that role as well. However, we just can't seem to get this role to get good average ratings. It's just not possible. I think it underestimates their role, because I think as a team, the role is fairly important. Maybe I'll experiment with some other roles. Maybe we'll just play a normal central midfielder and see how detrimental that is. I mean, we know as a team this works, but there's no reason not to try and improve things. And possibly we will try with another tactic, maybe a 4-4-2 style thing, and see how it goes. because then League 2 is a level above. In fact, we'll look at the leagues now before I forget. Starting with, we haven't seen all of the playoffs take place. In fact, I've got to save far. I've gone further into the future. So just before I quickly show the other leagues, you'll see here professional status is ongoing. It's going to be completed on the 7th of July. We're expanding the stadium. Well, it's having seats added to the stadium. A huge amount of money being spent on it. I think it was like a couple million, which just seems ludicrous to me. We've had to take out another bank loan. We're going to be in so much debt. And also looking for a senior affiliate. I doubt they'll find a senior affiliate because the board have failed numerous times. Looking at the Premier League then, Liverpool, champions. You can see Man United, Man City and Liverpool have all won it in recent years. Going down to the Championship, we've just seen Sheffield United, Blackburn and Burnley go up, with Birmingham, Walsall and Hull City getting relegated. In League 1, only one division above us now, remember. Nottingham Forest, Sunderland and MK Dons promoted. We're going to be playing the likes of Stevenage, Burton, Lincoln City and Crawley next season, as they have been relegated to League 2. This is an easier division to get out of, because remember there's 3 automatic places, there's 1 playoff place and there's only 2 teams that go down. So it's much better than the National League that we've been competing in the last couple seasons. We won't have to deal with Peterborough, Fleetwood, Shrewsbury or Forest Green, but we will be taking on Crewe. Now, can I get Luke Mooney to come to the club? His contract is up in the summer and I kind of doubt he will sign a new one with Crewe because they've never played him. The problem is, I don't know whether he's good enough. I feel like I just want to sign him because of that one great season. But he might come back and be awful. He's fast. Yes, he's fast. But everything else, I mean, dribbling and finishing are decent. Technique. He knows how to find the back of the net, but mentally not the best. But I feel like we got to give him a go. He was just so good for us. And Alec McCann as well. Now, he's actually going to sign for Ross County, I think. Getting sidetracked here. He's at Ebbsfleet, but he's joining Ross County in the summer, who currently are in the Scottish Premiership. So, wow, he's going to be playing in the top flight of Scotland. If he doesn't start for them, maybe we need to try and get him on loan, because we know how he's an exceptional player. He's the best striker we've ever had. We won't have to face Wycombe and Southend next season, as they have been relegated. That's a bit of a shock, Southend United going down. We get to take on our rivals, Ebbsfleet. Now, they're rivals because of the parallel universe thing. So, it's slightly irrelevant in this universe, but never mind. We know about the National League, of course. National League North was won by Boston, with Gateshead going up, Hyde, Curzon Ashton and Cambridge City relegated. And lastly, we'll look at the National League South, which was won by Maidenhead and Worthing have gone up via the playoffs. So Eastleigh stuck in that division still. Totton, Oxford City and Cray relegated. Now, this is a chap I need to try and sign. Mark Ball, top goal scorer at this level. He's on loan from Bristol City, but maybe we can... His contract is up. Ooh, he would be a good signing in my opinion, because look at him, 16 on finishing, 14 composure, he's fast, off the ball. You know, he'd be a cut above what we have, and he's a better option than Luke Mooney. Maybe I should try and sign both, but I think this guy would probably cost a fair bit of money contract-wise. He's currently probably just on a youth contract, £250 a week at Bristol City, but he'll probably want like close to £1,000 or something. He looks really good, but we've got to try and sign these players. And lastly, let's just have a quick look at the Cups. Liverpool managed to win the FA Cup this season. They also managed to win the League Cup, beating Everton in the did they get the treble? And the Charity Shield. That's insane. They've won everything. Have they won the Champions League as well? Maybe. Football League Trophy, Sunderland managed to win that one. FA Trophy, we were unable to retain our title. Wrexham won it, so hopefully we won't have to take part in this again, because hopefully we won't be relegated. Southern League Cup, we used to take part in this competition, of course. Bashley managed to win that one. And lastly, that looks good, 4-2 winners in the Hampshire Senior Cup. This is insane. Liverpool have literally won everything this year. They beat Arsenal in the Champions League final. What the hell? How have they done that? Let's just clarify this. Champions League 2025, Premier League 2025, FA Cup 2025, and the League Cup 2025, and the Charity Shield. Wait, 2024, of course. It was last summer. That is ridiculous. Well done to Liverpool for that. Anyway, I think we'll end it there. There will be a Revelations video just having a look back at the first 7 seasons and just seeing how we've got to this point, and hopefully looking ahead to see where we can go in the future. So make sure you watch that video. But yeah, until next time, enjoy FM19, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon for the start of the 8th season, my first season in the Football League with Regen Rovers.